Hello, everybody. You guys are welcome to our broadcast today. In the studio with me is the convener of the African Action Congress Party and the Take It Back movement and the Revolution Now movement, Omoyele Sowore, and also Barrister Aloy Jimako, who is the lawyer for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and the IPOB. Now, these guys will be speaking with us today. They are very, very busy people. So even if they don't join us right away, we will bring them in when they are ready. And for those of you who want to join us in studio, please, you can begin to come in, but we will only allow you to speak when we have listened to our guests. Okay, you guys know it's not easy to arrange this kind of meeting, so we had to do a lot of background runnings up and down. You can even see my eyes are still not very, very clear from walking late in the night, so bear with us. One thing I want you guys to help me do is to help us share this video, help us invite people who don't know that we have started. I don't want anybody to be missing from this broadcast, because people have a way of always saying, oh, we were not there, we didn't know what happened. No, we don't want that to happen this time around. We want you to be here. We want you to know what happened. It doesn't matter whether you agree with us or you don't agree with us. It is important that you join and know what is going on. Let me also warn you ahead of time that in Nigeria, there's always problem with connections. So if we do lose anyone in the course of this, I would want you to bear with us. So like I said, I have my guests in the studio. I'll be bringing them in from time to time. Please, a mic check. Can you guys hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, sir. Hello?
Yeah.
Okay. We can see you, and then it goes on and off.
I'm inside a vehicle. I'm going somewhere.
Okay. So what?
It's so busy for me.
I know.
Hello?
I know. I know that already. That's what I was just telling. That's what I was just telling people.
Hello?
Before now. I can hear you. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Call to the other one. Okay, so
Yeah.
I just want to find out how you are doing.
Okay. Hello, sir. What do you know how long it's gonna take before you get to where you're driving to? Hello, sir. Hello, sir. So guys, like I said, I want yes, we can hear you. Do you know how long before you get to where you're going to, where maybe you can settle?
I'm inside the car. I can talk to you.
Okay, all right. It keeps the connection is not, it keeps going on and off.
Yeah,
Okay, what I did is that I put my phone on airplane mode and connected it to Wi-Fi. So I think it's going to be better now.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. So, without wasting this precious time, I'd like to thank you, Barrister Loy Jimako, for joining us. And I want to also thank you for the great job you are doing keeping um, the case of Mazi Kanu alive. Um, really, really grateful. And for all the other times we've sought your opinion and your your help with so many things, and you've come through for us. We really want to thank you for that. Now, for those people who do not know you, sir, I just want you to briefly, in a nutshell, tell us what is your profile as a lawyer.
Well, first of all, you already mentioned my name. My name is Aloy Mako. I'm special counsel to Nnamdi Kanu, and by the grace of God, I'm currently leading the defense team in the criminal charges preferred against it. My professional background, in summary, is simply this: that I have a bachelor's degree with honors in economics and public administration, and after that, I proceeded to read law and had a first degree in law and master's degree in law. And after that, I sat for my bar exams, and I was called to the bar in the state of New York. And I practiced law in the United States for several years, almost for 2 decades, before I came to Nigeria on an assignment. Uh, then from there, I met Mazi Kanu on, I think, sometime around the early part of September 2017. And we discussed, he saw, or he had seen some articles I had written defending Nnamdi and basically condemning the injustice that was a lot of Nnamdi, and he was impressed by that. So he asked me if I was going to be able to join the legal team, and I said yes. And from there, the rest is history.
Okay, awesome. So when you say you're special counsel to Mazi Kanu, I just want to get a clearer understanding of what that means, special counsel to Mazi Kanu.
Okay, it was the one that coined the phrase. What it meant was that I handled special briefs, briefs that were considered much more complex than ordinary briefs, or briefs that maybe some other lawyers might be unwilling to do, or briefs that he felt other lawyers may not be too familiar with the complexities. He assigned those briefs to me. For instance, the IGBO was proscribed uh, in September 2017, and it was never challenged before the international organizations to which Nigeria was subject, particularly the African Union. So it was after we met that he gave me that brief, and I did file a challenge against that proscription in December 2017, and by the grace of God, in March 2018, the African Union came down with a decision that the proscription was illegal, that it was a violation of the African Charter, and they directed the Nigerian government to restore IPOB back to its legal status. And it considered that IPOB members are not terrorists, but they possessed a political opinion which Nigerian government was seeking to punish or suppress by means of punishment of some sort. So special briefs like that were to be handled by me, and I handled that first one successfully. And the second one he gave me was the one to file the fundamental rights action before the Omaha, the Abia State High Court in Omaha, and that was in 2021. And the Python dance happened in 2017. So It took a whole 4 years for me to bring that action, and I wasn't his counsel until 2017. So I brought that action, and the action was successful. And of course, it was the other one before the Federal High Court in Omaya, and of course, the High Court in Enugu State, which considered the prescription of IPOB as unconstitutional as well. And this is the prescription that occurred in 2017, and the action was brought so late in time. So those are the reasons that he likes to address me as special counsel, because to him it appears I can score victories out of cases that were not deemed to be deemed to have any merit, and which is part of the reason that maybe the cases were not brought in time.
All right, thank you very much. With what we now know, but just so that we are clear, we keep hearing a lot of stories and a lot of misinformation out there, which is really the basis of this interview. Right now, who are the lawyers who is defending Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? Are there several lawyers who are
Yes.
several teams, or is
No.
there one team comprised of
No.
several lawyers?
No. Let me explain to you. You know, the current case that is alive, which I call the mother of all cases, comprising of the criminal allegations leveled against him and the case that was standing before Honorable Justice Binta Nyako. Everybody is aware of this case. A lot of lawyers had represented Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in that case. So subsequent to the Supreme Court ruling on that case, sent it back to the Federal High Court. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu now changed his legal team and put me at the apex of the legal team to lead the legal team and to lead his defense in the High Court. And with me in the legal team are as follows: Barrister Nnemeka Ejiofor, Barrister Maxwell Opara, Barrister Jude Ugwuanyi, Barrister Mandela Umegboroko, Barrister Ikenna Nwangu, and Barrister Chidiebere Nwodo. This is the current legal team constituted by Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, which is representing him before, or in that case, in that allegation, in that criminal trial comprising of the allegations of incitement of terrorism, which is the mother of all the cases. So right now, there is one other case which pertains to the prescription of IPOB. That very case is being handled by Chukwuma Machuku Ume, a senior advocate of Nigeria, who I brought on board to handle that case outside of the legal team, but he's considered an adjunct member of the legal team. We work in close cooperation, but he's not a direct member of the legal team that is handling the case before the High Court, and which I'm heading. So he's handling the prescription case in conjunction with me. I am the co-counsel in that case as well. That was why the last time the case was heard in court, I think it was 31st of last month, I appeared with him. You may have seen my name and his name in the media. So this is the current state of affairs. There is no other case concerning Mazi Nnamdi Kanu that is being handled by any other team at all, internationally and here. Of course, internationally in Kenya, Professor Lumumba is representing him in Kenya, and the Bildmans are representing him in the UK. Bruce Fine is representing him in the United States and internationally. And I collaborate with all these three lawyers that I just mentioned in everything they do, because they do need facts to prosecute what they are doing on behalf of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and they are not on ground in Nigeria. So I'm the one that supply them with the facts and litigation support, and sometimes I have to give them affidavits in order to them to be, in order for them to be effective in filing their processes internationally. And again, we do have a few petitions before the United Nations that are being pursued by Professor Rachel Murray from the United Kingdom. She's a professor of human rights at Bristol University, and I do help Rachel once in a while because she has never been to Nigeria. So if she needs anything pertaining to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and IPOB, I'm the one that supplies her with the information. These are all the cases that are in play at the moment. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Let me also ask a straight question. Now, Barrister Aloy Ejiofor and Ozekome. No, you are Aloy Ejimako, but we used to hear of Barrister Ejimofo representing
Ifeanyi
Ejiofor. Sorry, Ifeanyi Ejiofor. Because of the Ejimako, I always confuse you both. Sorry for that confusion, sir. So, yes, Barrister Ifeanyi Ejiofor used to represent Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And when you're talking about the legal team, you mentioned Ejiofor. Is he still part of the team, or is that another Ejiofor?
The Ejiofor I mentioned is Barrister Nnamdi Ejiofor. He's not Barrister Ifeanyi Ejiofor.
Okay, so Barrister
Ejiofor is a very common name in Igbo land. So this one that is a member of my legal team, of the current legal team, is Barrister Nnamdi Ejiofor.
Okay,
not
good.
Ifeanyi.
Okay, so Ifeanyi Ejiofor are officially not in the legal representative team of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu.
No, not anymore.
Okay, thank you very much for that clarification. Now, help us understand, now that we know that you are the one at the head of the team representing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in all of the cases, help us bring us to speed with the status of the case, because we want to hear what is the real thing. In these days of misinformation, like I said, we hear all kinds of things, and people just propel fake news everywhere and create a lot of confusion. Please, sir, what is the true status of the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu?
Well, one of the highest points of the case when I came into the picture with this current team is that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was allowed for the first time to speak to the media. It was a landmark event, and of course, he also had the opportunity of also addressing the court. So we take pride in that, and you have seen what happened on the 24th of September. The judge was recused from the case, meaning that the judge was pursuant to the request of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu withdrawn from handling the case because he has lost confidence in the capacity of the judge to render justice in the matter. There is a suspicion of partiality and also other concerns that we have. So from that moment, there was this very surprising thing that was done by the Chief Judge of the Federal High Court, and it's usually not done. That's why I call it surprising. He sent back the file to Justice Binta Nyako, who was recused on 24 September, and insisted that the same judge must continue to handle the case. And that was the last that we had of anything happening in the matter. We have not received any hearing notice calling us back to court to do whatever to commence the trial that they so much desire, or to do what we don't know. So the matter remains in limbo. But all those negative rulings that were made by Honorable Justice Binta Nyako were appealed. We have 3 appeals pending before the Court of Appeal. 2 of them relate to the preliminary objections we raised to the jurisdiction of the High Court to proceed with Mazi Nnamdi Kanu trial on very strong and meritorious grounds, several of them at least 6 grounds. And then one relates to the refusal of the High Court to restore his bail based on the ruling of the Supreme Court that he never joined bail and that his bail should not have been revoked. The High Court refused our application to restore his bail, and on that premise, we took the matter to the Court of Appeal. So that makes it 3 appeals before the Court of Appeal right now. So the current status of the case is that the Court of Appeal, in record time, as I do in my cases, have had 2 of the appeals. It's now remaining 1, and that one remaining may have to be had in a few days' time. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. I'm going to ask you a next question, but let me welcome our other special guest today, in the person of Mr. Omoyele Shore. Thank you, Mr. Shore, for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Thank you, Dr. Chile.
Wonderful. I'm happy to be on the same panel on this platform with Ashowore. He has been a solid rock behind his friend Mazi Kanu, and his platform, Sahara Reporters, has become a very veritable and effective platform for disseminating the right information. He has provided a lot of support. You know, it's unquantifiable. I use this opportunity to publicly thank him on my behalf and on behalf of Mazi Kanu and on behalf of all freedom-loving people everywhere in the world who have benefited from the invaluable journalistic renditions coming out of Sahara Reporters. Thank you, Yele, as I call you, and I got your back always, like you got my back. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Barrister. Thank you so much for the work that you're doing there. And we constantly touch base on this matter. And I'm glad that you are here today to explain the role you have been playing. And I'm sure we'll continue to work ceaselessly until justice is done. As you are aware, most people are aware, Nnamdi Kanu is not the only person who is caught up in the vortex of, abuse in the country. I was involved in it. I just got out of mine after 5 years, and well, I won't say I've gotten out of mine. I still have cases pending, and we also, for the information of the public, Barrister is also working on other cases involving victims of the system. We just talked about a couple in Enugu who have been abducted since 2021, father and mom. They have been languishing in Wawa barracks, where they usually dump IPOB members in Niger State. So I'm glad that you're here, and we'll continue to work on these issues. It's not just that we want to see freedom happen, but we have always said that there can never be peace in Nigeria if there's no justice. That's not even that's what they call a no-brainer. So I'm glad that we're here together to have this conversation this Sunday, to talk about the issues.
Thank you very much, Mr. Omoyele Shore. Is there something about New York that makes you guys freedom fighters? Because I know you're a New Yorker, and I know Barrister Aloy Jimako is a New Yorker. So what is it about New York?
No, actually, a Washingtonian.
Oh,
Yeah,
Washington.
I think I don't know. I don't think I said to do with living in New York. I think we are all over time we have all been disposed to fighting for justice in the homeland, our country, and that's why you see when we talk about it passionately that there's nowhere like home. This is what we mean. That if we have a country that's functioning, you don't have to be a perpetual visitor to another person's country, which is what most Nigerians are. We're supposed to be coming here like our parents did in the 70s, to just be on vacation and go back after 2 weeks. But a lot of us have been here now for 20 something years, 30 years. People have been. I met somebody who's been in the US for 45 years last week. And they're not it's not fun to be away from where you should be naturally. It's not the best thing. And I've always said that if Nigeria were to attain some level of stability and progress, people will be coming home without being deported by Donald Trump on their own volition.
Sure, sure, sure. Now, talking about New York, Mr. Shore, you met with Mazi Nnamdi Kanu that very important meeting that exploded, that caused every other ripple to happen. Because I know that after that meeting, the federal government of Nigeria started pissing in their pants. When they saw you, they arrested you. When they saw Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, yeah, everything just went south, as they would say, because they accused you guys of so many things. But was that your first contact with Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, or what was your first contact with him?
Well, it's difficult to say what the first contact was, but you remember that when Sarah TV was operational, when we used to have every Saturday live show, we brought him on the show. As a matter of fact, one of the evidence the federal government is using against him was an interview was an interview he granted to Sahara TV. An interview was conducted by Rudolph Okonkwo, who also met him that same day. I met him in New York. We met just minutes apart. So as I've always stated, anywhere I find social movements, anywhere in the world, it doesn't matter whether you are the landless people of Brazil or IPOB of Nigeria, or you are in South Africa or Kenya, or you are in Papua New Guinea. I am attracted to understand why people are doing what they're doing and how we can all work together to fight to ensure that people get what is due to them. So it is my natural inclination towards the struggle for justice, and I mean social justice in particular. So, but it wasn't until that day that we physically met in New York, and you were there, you covered it. In fact, you brokered it, and after that, you remember everything we said have almost come to pass. Everything we said has come to pass. I told him that the struggle is going to escalate to new levels, and that he should prepare also for the worst, including that these guys will just not relent, because the struggle is getting involved, or he got involved. It has global dimensions and connotations, and you saw what lawyer Aloy Jimako has said. Look at number of places, jurisdictions across the world where this case is playing out. There's the London case going on. There's Kenya. There's the U.S. There's United Nations dimensions. There's Nigeria, and there are several cases playing out in different parts of the world. So this case has global dimensions. So, but in meeting him, that at that time you were there, I said that at some point we all need to work together. And look at where we are today. A few years later, I think it was about 6 years ago that we met. All of us are working together now, whether we like it or not.
Thank you very much. I'm going to come back to you because I really want to know when you placed that call to me and you said, Chidi, I want to meet Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. The tension in the country, the way things were, I was asking myself, what the hell? Why do you want to meet this guy of all times and of all people? So I want to know why you really wanted that meeting. But before we go there, let me come back to Barrister Lloyd Jimako and ask, several times you have talked about political solution, and this has been misconstrued or misinterpreted in so many quarters. When you talk about political solution to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's case, what exactly do you mean?
Well, can you hear me very well? I'm
Yes,
having
I
issues
can hear
with
you. I can hear you.
Okay, well, a political solution entails two or three things. The Attorney General of the Federation, under Section 174 of the Constitution, has the powers to discontinue the prosecution. The Federal High Court under Section 17 of the Federal High Court Act has the powers to direct the parties to engage in reconciliation. Are you with me?
Yes, we're with you. Go ahead.
Okay, the video dimmed out.
No, we're putting it on you. Wanted it to be on you alone. Just go ahead.
Okay, I see. Sorry. Anyway, so this, and then the third one is that the president can simply using presidential fiat end the entire saga, just like he did in the case of the minors that were brought to court. I mean, arrested in the wake of the bad governance protest headed by Yele Showere here. Some minors were arrested and arraigned in court, and it provoked a lot of widespread outrage. And the president stepped in personally and used executive fiat to end that saga. The case of Mazi Kanu is no different. Even Showore here, who is with us, his own ended by nolle prosequi as well. The Attorney General filed some kind of process discontinuing the case because he saw that they had no case, no triable case in court against it. So that is what that type of case of Mazi Kanu can entail. But we do understand that there's a political agenda behind his detention. He was agitating for something before he was arrested. So it may be that the federal government may want to engage in some kind of talks with him before they bring about a political solution. But like Yele Showore had said at some forum, a political solution to this, because of the magnitude, would need the participation of the leaders of Southeast. And it appears that the prime leaders of Southeast have not stepped forward as aggressively as they should to meet with the president to end this. In fact, in one of the conversations I had with him privately, he even offered to, be on a delegation, even though he's not from the Southeast, on the delegation of Southeast leaders that will go and meet the Mr. President over this matter. But that delegation has not been constituted. I have done a lot of background work to see whether it's going to be constituted because there are several centers of political leadership in Southeast. On the one hand, you have the Southeast Governors Forum, which the president sees as the constituted authority, executive authority in Southeast. On the other, you have the National Assembly caucus, then you have religious leaders, and of course the traditional rulers. So amongst all of these planks or segments of leadership in the Southeast, I think the primary one that the president is looking to talk with is the Southeast Governor Forum. But apart from the announcement he made recently, about 2 months ago, maybe more than 2 months ago, that it's going to interface as a forum of governors with the president over this matter, it has not done anything. So everybody is looking to that direction. It's not in our place to force matters to happen. It's in our place instead as lawyers to offer the best defense we can, to levy the best defense we can in favor of our client in court, and to ensure that his rights are not violated and that he receives justice. So we are not to be considered as the group that will go and meet with the president cap in hand begging for political solution. It's for the politicians to handle that. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. You see, I don't want people to think that I'm being prideful when I say what I'm going to say now. But you see, in these times when I look at people discuss online on social media, our people, I am amazed at the level at which we now talk in Nigeria. It looks like the intellectual, it's not even about intellect, but the way people reason now, the way people spin things out of context. I begin to think, why are people thinking like this? This political solution that you just explained right now, people have said all kinds of things. Mazi Kanu is going to go and beg and decide to abandon his mission, or he's going to say he will support Tinubu's government and all kinds of things. But I'm glad that you explained it now. That's one of the reasons why I want people to listen from people who are intelligent, not just that they're intelligent, the people who know, people who are actually in the middle of this. You are the one handling Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's case, so you know. Somebody like Omoyele Sowore knows everything about what's going on in Nigeria. He's been there for decades. He has experienced it. In the recent interview he gave, been there, done that, thrown into prison, felt it. It's not like they say. So when we hear from people like you, it just cancels all the nonsense that people do out there. In an interview I gave on Dr. Damage's show, I just slammed somebody there, and everybody's like, "Why did you say that?" I said that because enough of all this nonsense. If you want to hear, tune to the people who are directly involved, tune to the people who know, and take what they tell you and go and work with it. Now, having said that,
Yeah,
Mr.
can I chip in? I am sorry to disappoint because I really would have liked to sit out here with my good friend and my brother Showore to discuss a whole lot of things. But I do have an appointment at 4:45. I have just 3 minutes to go in there. I just pulled over and I'm sitting right in the car to talk to you
Okay,
briefly.
I
We
have.
can do
I'm
this
gonna.
again.
So I'm going to ask you 2 questions and let you go. Okay. Thank you
Okay,
so much
all
for
right.
forgiving us. Now, these questions are very, very sensitive and direct questions.
Okay.
What did your client Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have to say about the sit at home that goes on in the Southeast, and particularly about Mr. Simon Ekpa?
Okay, let me take that. The answer lies in the public domain. You will see what happened last year. I think it was in July. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu had issued a directive, and I had carried it out, and the rest is history. There was a lot of sparks here and there, and a lot of attacks against my person and blackmailing and what have you. The position hasn't changed. It remains like that. He has not issued a counter instruction. Chile, do you know of any counter instruction? You know, he hasn't issued any
So,
counter instruction. That, so
what is
that
this?
is that is
What's the instruction, sir? Just for
so
the
the
benefit
instruction
of
last
those
year
listening.
he issued. He did not want sit at home to be done anymore, and he never wanted any sit at home, including the Monday sit at home, to be enforced. He wanted these things to be voluntary. You understand? And
Okay.
he wasn't doing this to contradict anybody or to put anybody down. He was doing it out of a sense of patriotism and love for his people because he felt that the sit at home was becoming counterproductive. And he
So
felt,
categorically, he does not support the sit at home, and anybody doing the sit at home is carrying out their own agenda and not Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's agenda.
he made it clear from the get go if anybody wants to sit at home to protest his illegal incarceration and all the other injustices happening to people. One of them, the election already mentioned, the couple that has been languishing in detention. We have hundreds, tens, hundreds, if not thousands of those across Nigeria. So Mazi Nnamdi Kanu made it clear. If anybody wants to sit at home on Monday voluntarily, if you want to lock your shop, you do. But if you want to go to your shop, you can go. That nobody, no Igbo man, or no Biafran or no Nigerian should go around to marketplaces and offices with guns and machetes and any weapon of violence, trying to force people to sit at home because that could lead to violence or brother against brother, and it really doesn't make sense.
Thank you,
And
Barrister Jimakol. I'm going to the second part of the question. I really want you to touch this because Simon Ekpa has been posting videos where people go out actually on those days and commit hideous crimes and posted, actually killing people. And I want to very clearly understand from you, because he always relates his actions to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. So that's why I asked you what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has said
So let me just
concerning.
simply address that.
Okay, please.
On two occasions when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu appeared in court, he condemned all forms of violence. He did in the strongest terms possible. He condemned all forms of violence associated with the struggle for Biafra or associated with the sit at home. He condemned it. And I think coming from the horse's mouth, that ought to be enough. There is nothing more I can add to it that will make it to become more significant than what he had said. I cannot talk over his voice.
Okay.
His voice is stronger than mine. So he made clear that all forms of violence associated with this struggle should end and should discontinue, and he condemned those that have happened already. And he
Okay.
keyed it into his detention and said, if he comes out, all these things are going to end
All
in
right.
short order.
Thank you. Finally, we've also heard some pronouncements, some talks about people concerning the relationship between your client and his wife. I know this is personal, but because it has a lot of implication concerning people's perception about your client,
So,
please let us
I,
know, because you are the only one that goes to meet him personally,
his
so we
wife,
can get. So what's the
are you
relationship
not
between
aware?
What's the
No, but
relationship between Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and the wife?
the relationship is cordial. His wife has paid him a lot of visits recently. I think the last one is not up to 2 months. And she came with the youngest son. I think his name is Nnamdi. I was the one that wrote the letter for the visitation, and so I'm aware. It's not hearsay.
Okay.
So if the relationship is not cordial, why would such visitations occur?
All right. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So when is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu going to be released?
Well, as soon as uh, the question is easy, the answer is easy, is also very hard. As a lawyer, I can assure you that it is my determination to win one of the cases sooner than later that will see to his freedom. Whether Nigerian government is going to obey the court order or not is another matter. I'm not telling you that the order has been cast in stone, but I have worked very hard enough and kicked up a lot of dust to prevail in one of the actions that will see to his release sooner than later. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for granting us this opportunity. And
Thank you,
we
Yele. Yele, thank you. And I'm happy to have sat here with you. I'm sorry I have to leave early. Thank you very much.
all right. Thank
Bye
you very
bye.
much. Yeah, bye-bye. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, Mr. President, sorry for that interruption. We can't hear you. Hello, Mr. Shore, can you hear me? We can't hear you. Your audio is off. Oh, no, we can't hear you. We can't hear you. We can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
We can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, but there's an echo. It's echoing.
Okay.
It's
All
echoing.
right. Can you hear me now?
Perfect. We can hear you now.
All right.
Sorry for that
So
interruption. Yes.
thank you very much. I think we have spoken even before now. The questions you asked are very important, and I'm glad that the lawyer was here today to discuss the legal aspect of the case. I'm here to discuss the social, political aspect of the case. And what I've said is that this case can never be resolved in a court of law. There's no court of law in Nigeria that can resolve the issue. It is not a matter for the courts. The courts were only brought in to come and create the necessary excuse to keep Nnamdi Kanu perpetually detained by the Nigerian government. No judge has ever prevailed in social movement matters of this scale. It is just like saying that, oh, it was a court of law that ended discrimination in America. No, it was done by people putting their boots on the ground. Of course, when they see that people are determined and serious, the court of laws will then act as ancillaries on the side to lend credence and legality to actions of people who are fighting for freedom. That's what nobody wants to accept about the Nnamdi Kanu's case. I was the one who told Aloy Jimako at the car park of the Federal High Court in Abuja. I'm talking about this 2024, when the the Supreme Court sent the case back to the Federal High Court. That the Supreme Court had already said that the bill is existing. Why are you applying for another bill? But it wasn't him that was the problem. It's that the Nigerian state knew what was happening and knew that they had no case. I've heard people use my release or removal, my own case ending as an excuse. No, I also said, if you remember from day one in court, I told the judge that there's no case, you're just wasting your time.
Sure.
I told all the judges that I appeared before in my case, I told them they are wasting their time until it became clear. And let me make a revelation to you today that I have also applied, and Aloy knew this, to see Nnamdi Kanu 3 different times. 2 different times I drove to the DSS, stayed there for several hours. They pretended as if they were going to make it happen. It never happened. When Tinubu came into office, I also reached out to people who I thought were sensible to let them understand that you cannot prevail against the Biafran struggle. The only solution is political. You can go and write this down any day. So let's have this resolved now. And do you know what they told me at that time? The person who I spoke to said, why are you not talking about your case? And you are putting Kanu's case on you are stuck in Nigeria. I said, I don't have a case. That's what I told the person. I said, I do not have a case. But it was from there that I knew that the Southeastern political elites were not interested in Nnamdi's freedom. Because when that conversation that I talked to you about was supposed to kick off, they said, no, don't be in a hurry. We want to do more election first. If you release Nnamdi Kanu, we are going to lose in Imo. The APC will lose. That was the first political consideration that led to the suspension of Nnamdi Kanu's release or conversation about his release. Politics. And it was championed by the Southeastern political elite. And I have spoken about this publicly. And nobody has denied it. In fact, it was after I spoke about it that they went and sat together and had a charade. I don't know in which of the states. All the governors saying they are going to pursue Nnamdi Kanu's release. All the governors. They never did anything about it as a group because they are half-hearted interested in his release. And Tinubu is enjoying it because the chaos that is happening in the Southeast gives them the opportunity to be doing what they want to do in Nigeria. And I have said it publicly and openly all the time. The Nigerian political elite as a whole love it when there's chaos everywhere because the more chaos there is, the less space they have to govern. You imagine now they don't have to construct roads anywhere in the Southeast because they'll tell you that IPOB is making it impossible. IPOB is making it impossible to invest in education. The only thing they have to do is just invest money in security. And that's the most opaque way of spending money in Nigeria, security. So just be throwing money. That's the easiest way to steal is to claim that you are using money to fight some enemy. But they would have cost Nigeria less, both in human and financial resources, if Nnamdi Kanu had been released, not even that Tinubu, but years ago. But that is why I come to the position that he's been held hostage for Nigeria's unity. And that it has to do with the way Nigeria has permanently, consistently, and doggedly suppressed the Igbos since the end of the war in 1970. And it goes back to the reason I told you, as the reason I met Nnamdi Kanu, one of the reasons, apart from several other reasons, that I wasn't one of the people who fought the war. I cannot continue to fight the war because I was born in 1971 after the war. I don't want to continue a war started by foolish people. Are you telling me? Are you listening to me? And has destroyed an entire generation of persons. And the unity of Nigeria that they claim they're holding Nnamdi Kanu for, that unity has fallen apart more since they have been holding Nnamdi Kanu. More and more Nigerians no longer believe in Nigeria because of the way Nigeria is handling the case. And they are not going to learn. Trust me. They are not going to learn. Except when it is clear that everybody is united to fight these people. Because at the end of the day, and it's very important, is to understand that there's a central political elite in Nigeria that's holding Nigeria to ransom. And that takes us back to what happened when I met Nnamdi Kanu, which you remember. I told him, brother, let's unite. Yes, I love your struggle in the Southeast, but how about we do it together? Let's have a revolution once and for all. And you'll be surprised that you will not need a Biafran nation anymore, because why do you want Biafra? Is it not justice? Is it not economic development, social development? Is it not decentralization, restructuring, and all the things we're talking about? You remember I said that to him. And one of the things he said to me when we were done with that conversation, you remember, I said, I'm going to Nigeria. I said, are you mad? Going to Nigeria? You see, these people just killed 28 people in front of my house. They're going to kill you, especially now that you have met with me.
Mm-hmm.
I said, it's fine. If it is death, there's nothing anybody can do to stop it, including the people who want to kill you. They too will die someday. And some of them will even die before you die.
Sure.
Yes.
Sure.
So we don't have control over death, but we have control over our conscience as long as we're alive. And we must work together.
Mr. President,
yes.
Sorry I'm cutting you short.
Yes.
But
even me too, I have to leave after a while.
I know.
But I'm not going to church. It's just family engagement. So.
Thank you so much. It's always a privilege to have you around. And people, this last interview you did with the Honest Bunch, that is really an explosion. I was able to really carve out time. The whole 3 hours I sat and I watched that interview. I think that's one of by far the best interview they've had with anybody. And big ups to you. That interview was so revealing. You're just you're just an encyclopedia of Nigeria's history, Nigeria's politics, the truth about Nigeria's problem. And you were so sincere. You were very vulnerable. You didn't care. So that was a very, very good one. Okay. Now, when it comes to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's case, people want to just clearly say that, hey, Moele Shore, you're a Yoruba person. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is an Igbo person. He is fighting for the freedom of his people. He is fighting for Biafra and he wants Nigeria to scatter. And you and people like me who also believe in his struggle, who respect his struggle, are also fighting to save Nigeria. So they brand us and they brand people like you, the one Nigeria, the Nigerianists who are countering what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is doing, and they would prefer to ask you, why are you not fighting for the Yoruba nation? So I want you to please, because recently people have been listening to you, people are beginning to understand. Those who chose not to understand before, they are beginning to understand you they are listening to you. So please, could you take that opportunity to explain to people what your fight is all about? They understand Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's own because you can simply say, oh, he's fighting for Biafra. But they don't understand why you are not fighting for the Yoruba nation, but you are fighting for the whole of Nigeria. Is it countering, is it anti or opposite what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is fighting for?
If it was opposite what Nnamdi Kanu is fighting for, I don't think Mazi Nnamdi Kanu would have chosen me as one of the most respected persons. Well, I'm not using that to brag, that he would like to see, to talk. If I pose a threat to his desires, his position, he wouldn't have said, I want to see Showore. I wouldn't have been one of the persons, like his lawyer rightly mentioned here, who continuously fight for him, both privately and publicly. When I was in Abuja for 5 years, the only times, well, there were several times I had a close shave with death. On those several occasions, one of the biggest one was being abducted before a judge at the Federal High Court. Two other ones were when I went to, 3 other times were when I went to attend Nnamdi Kanu's trial. I was physically beaten up. In one of the instances, somebody brought out a dagger.
Yeah.
And was close to stabbing me before we fought in on that day and in front of the DSS, the army, the police. So I also,
in fact, they were the ones that saved him. They were the ones that dragged him to themselves.
Exactly. Make sure
they didn't beat him. They didn't beat him. They just dragged him to themselves.
Somebody would then say, why is it that you are also fighting for the Yoruba nation agitators? Because when Sunday Igboho was shot at and people were killed in his house, and his roommates or tenants or friends, colleagues were brought to Abuja, was I not the same person who went to the Federal High Court with their lawyer to help out and ensuring that they got bailed out on time, and some of them were able to safely exit Nigeria till today? They haven't even gone back. But to go back to your real question, which is, who am I fighting? I'm fighting for humanity. And I have stated this several times that I'm a Pan-Africanist. That Nigeria, even as a space, is not big enough for me. Because I know how the world works. I know the reason why the rest of the globe is progressing is because the world is adopting bigger spaces as the playground. And that is where prosperity is coming from. Look at the Europe today that everybody is calling a continent. Europe is not a continent because the continent must be separated by land or water from another continent. But they call it a continent because they control the world and they are using their own integration to get economic prosperity. Otherwise, Europe would have been just one small place if they are not integrated and united. Africa needs to get to that point too, where the entire African continent is just one country. And we can benefit from integration and prosperity of the African people and its resources. So when we are done with all the battle to divide Nigeria, we will discover that a united, well-governed, prosperous Nigeria is better than a Nigeria that is carved into half-half. Because right now, Nigeria as a country is divided into 36 states. Why is that not bringing prosperity to Nigeria? Because it has nothing to do with the artificial borders. It has to do with the human beings that are managing the space. And we have convinced ourselves that we must keep voting for foolish people or appointing them to position. And when they cause all this confusion, we go back to clinging to our small neighborhoods, and hoping that if somehow we get our safe neighborhood prosperous, safe, we'll be fine. My position is that we won't be. If Biafra becomes a nation today, it will still have to deal with the surrounding nations of poverty from Nigeria. If the Biafran nation becomes a Christmas tree at night and the rest of Nigeria is dark, Biafra cannot be at peace. So that's my position. But a lot of people did not understand it at first. And I know some of them are now trying to understand what it is that I was talking about. But I also know that we are not there yet. But that's not my problem. My problem is not geography. My problem is humanity in this matter. So those who want to worry about geography can worry about it. And by the way, I studied geography, as you know. That was my first degree in the university. So I know Nigeria on the back of my hand. I know every river, every lake, every estuary. I know every hill, including the Mo Hill in Nigeria, by way of geography. And I know that all those things don't matter if we don't have a country that's functioning, if we don't have integration, if we don't have economic development that brings all of us together, if we don't have a country that works for all of us, that can even help the African continent to become what it has always wanted to be, because Nigeria is central to that with 200 million people. So that is what I've always told people, that it is, and let me shock you, Dr. Chidi. If Nigeria breaks up today, I don't even know where we belong.
Why did you say that?
Because you know where we came from. So my great grandparents came from a part of Nigeria. We settled in a part of Nigeria that is not technically what people call that part. And then we are amphibians. There's a part of us that's water, part of us that's land. So when the breakup is done, I will still have to find a place to stay. But a citizenship to claim. And I said on Honest Bunch, on a lighter note, when people say, "Oh, sure, you are Yoruba," or we need an Igbo president. Who told you I'm not Igbo?
because I wonder.
Even if you ask the hip hop guys, they said Igbo land starts from Ekpe all the way to Bayelsa. So
maybe you're even
they have automatically and geographically captured us as part of their nation state. But that's on the lighter side.
Yeah.
We're here for humanity, because honestly, you see a lot of people who are even fighting for Nigeria today. So many of them have already abandoned Nigeria citizenship. They have become citizens of other. Some of them are Finnish, some of them are Danish, some of them are American, some of them are British. I'm one of the few people who is here who has not changed my citizenship. I'm still from the Niger area, by citizenship, by birth, by conduct, and all of the shebangs that go with it, Dr. Chidi. So I will keep saying this, and I think the fact that we're able to relate on so many levels with people who even have differences on how Nigeria should be tells you something. That is that there's an overriding intention to have a space that works for everybody. And I have seen, and I said that on Honest Bunch when they said, "Oh, Nnamdi Kanu wants to break up Nigeria." And I said, look, he has made it very clear the protocols for which they want to exist inside Nigeria. And nobody wants to discuss that issue. Nnamdi Kanu is still the person who goes to court. Like his lawyer said, he said, "I don't want violence. I don't want people getting killed. I want people to voluntarily do it at home." And he said, "If you release me, I'm going to bring peace." And you keep accusing him of, it is people who are detaining him that don't want Nigeria to be united. It is not him who is saying that he wants justice for his own people. Are you getting my point? So
Sure.
I know that this might be a little bit difficult for some people to understand, but what I keep saying, I keep doing is to maintain a constant position as to where I stand.
No,
and I find it interesting that a lot of people have come to that space,
yes.
because sometimes some people need to explore. They need to explore and see how it is first, and then they'll come. And most of them don't come openly and admit that you are right or they're wrong. It's just, and which is fine by me. But where I stand is where I stand, and this is where I've always stood. All right, since the beginning of time.
The interesting thing, and for those of you who know you, for those of you who have worked under your leadership, is the fact that for us, it's almost like a show, the whole thing that is playing out now. And people have always commented that, oh, you guys of the TIB movement and AAC, one thing about you is that you guys are so stubborn, you don't want to bend, you just stick on. It's because many times you've always looked at this and said, guys, listen, relax. This is what's going to play out. And every prediction, just like you said, has happened. That is, if you were to be a prophet, honestly, you would have made so much money because you just be doling out prophecies and collecting tithe and offering. But I don't know why you have not chosen to open a church, because everything you predicted has come to pass. But let me just ask you, and I know I need to let you go very soon. How did we, and I want to hear this from somebody who knows. And by the way, I would really advise anybody to go and watch. We're going to post the link to the interview Omoyele Sowore had with the honest bunch. I listened to that interview, and even coming from somebody who knows him very well, it was very revealing. I advise you to go and watch that interview. You'll catch so many things that you're not able to catch now, because he really, really opened up on everything. But I want you to help us, sir, understand, because now our people have a proverb that when a woman marries two husbands, she will know which one is better. People have gone back and forth, up and down, gone to taste here and there, and we are now feeling it, and we are now ready to listen. And that's why, you see, the people that are hearing now, the talk has been there before, but you were not hearing because so many things were in your ear. Now, when it don't touch you, now you're hearing. So while we have people's ears, help us understand, how did we get to this point, and what is the solution for Nigeria?
Well, we got to this point because we made a lot of missteps from the beginning, and some of it started from how Nigeria itself was created. Are you getting my point? And Nigeria was created not to allow for change to happen. Are you getting my point? That was why it wasn't created as a country. It wasn't created as a nation. It was created as a business. And it was created as a business of the British Empire. It was like a ShopRite. They created it as a store where you go and get what you want, come back. And then suddenly they realized that they have looted the entire place. They had to leave because the empire couldn't continue to do what it used to do best. Then when it got to our people to manage the place, they put it in the wrong hands because everything was reluctance. Nigeria as a nation or as a country was reluctant to get independence, if you know the story. And then when it got independence, it was reluctant to work with each other. There was no trust because they didn't want a Nigeria in which people will flourish. And that has to do with the people who created the country. As I usually say sometimes jocularly, Nigeria, when you look at even the flag that Nigeria had, it was the laziest flag on earth. There was nothing creative about even the flag. If you look at Kenya flag, they say at least managed to put cockroach in the middle or somewhere, one of those flags. But nothing was unique about how Nigeria was created and how it continued. So Nigeria just continued to wobble from place to place. And as long as we do not address both the foundational issues, which brought us to where we are now with all the people who want to break away from Nigeria, and also address the institutional issues, there's something as simple as electricity that Nigeria cannot get right, and Ghana can get it right, and South Africa can get it right. And people are now asking every day, why is Nigeria the way it is? Ask yourself, what will happen to Nigeria in terms of progress if you can get electricity right alone? So there's no rocket science there. And then when it is time to now make these decisions to move on, we then start lying to ourselves. We lie to ourselves that Somehow you can move on with Nigeria by playing games with your future, or by playing games with your leaders, by using ethnicity and religion to deceive yourself that things that man can solve. You say God will solve it. It has become a complete mess, and it was because people just love lying to themselves about these solutions. Why am I coming to? It was when, after having traveled around Nigeria in 2018 and 2019 through our political movement, Take It Back movement, and our party, we came back and said Nigeria needed a revolution. What do you think people said? They insulted the hell out of us. Oh, you people want to scatter the country. What is the meaning of revolution? Tomorrow they are still asking me the meaning of revolution, even though now they understand that Nigeria needs a revolution. And without that, we are deceiving ourselves. So getting it right means taking very stringent positions. And I mean, the fight to get there is not something that can be compromised. We must have a unity of purpose in terms of how we deal with the future by ensuring that the past is addressed holistically. The past has been a drag on us, the present has been a drag on us. We cannot move to the future with the kind of liability we have in the past and the present. So I'm not confused about that, Dr. Chidi, and we have spoken about this continuously. Like you said, maybe some people who have never heard from me before or who hasn't taken time to hear from me can look at the recent podcast where I totally broke it down, as regarding, I touched every topic that has confronted Nigeria in recent years. I talked all the individuals that contributed to it. I touched everywhere there's confusion. So it was a whole package. And if you listen to it and you want more, you can reach me. I'm always available to talk to people. And I'm not only available abroad, I'm available at home. I'm available offline, I'm available online. I'm available physically and I'm available virtually. So I'm not the kind of person you can say, oh, you ran away from that. No. Before you know it, I'm back. There's no running away from anybody. We must fight this battle until we win.
Thank you so much, Mr. President Omoyele Shore. I will let you go because I don't want to abuse this opportunity. We really want to thank you. It's going to be an oversell if I keep saying it, but we'll still have to say it. We want to thank you for maintaining. Main, One, thank you because you didn't maintain, just for maintaining.
Yeah.
You maintained it. You've kept the lights. You've kept the candle burning. All we have to do is just look in the horizon, look around. Who is still standing? Who is still keeping this fight going? You have been consistent. We are learning a lot from your consistency and really want to thank you. Barrister Lawyer Jimako couldn't have said it much better, but I like you for the awakening. Even in people like me, I must confess, I'm not as hard as you. I haven't been through what you've been through. Sometimes I give up, but when we listen to you again, you kind of rekindle. And I remember in that interview you were saying, no, the worst thing to do is to just give up and not be, even when you're discouraged, because there's so many things that you see and hear that discourages you. But thank you for inspiring us. Thank you for making us want to come back and continue the fight, and we'll try not to disappoint you. Before I let you go, I just want to give two people, especially, an opportunity to just address you quickly before I let you go. One of them is going to call online. He's not able to join us, but I'm going to bring him online to just address you. And then the other person is right there in the studio. They will each take 2 minutes to address Mr. Moyele Shore before he leaves us. Go ahead, Mr. C2.
Thank you very much, Dr. Chidi. I do appreciate your good job that you are doing. for humanity. And sure, I salute you very much. I know you don't know me, but Dr. Chin will explain to you more better. I've been watching you, and then I've been seeing a lot that you have been doing. I appreciate you for throwing your life in, for risking everything. You have been passing a lot of humiliation and other things, which is not supposed to be so, but because of the country we find ourselves in, and then everybody is passing through hell. I do appreciate you very much. I do follow your program. I do follow about your interview and everything. I'm one of the people who always respect you, no matter what. We might have our own differences and other things, but believe you me, I appreciate every damn thing that you have been doing very, very well. I do. But there's a little things that I said, I'm gonna discuss it with you anytime I have a little bit time to, chat with you. I will not say that I feel so bad. I will not say that you shouldn't do it. Everybody have his own right and his own policy. But it's about one of our lost brother in Abuja called, we call him by name Udele. And you were trying to fight for him. I understand your point of view, but the guy have thrown Ndiwo into box, called to the killings of our people. We have the evidence of what I was telling to you, and he has killed a lot of our people, even threatened the life of Mazi Kanu when he comes out. That everything is ready for him to be killed. I felt so bad when we were asking for it, trying to how should I put it now? Trying to, went to visit him or trying to get him released. People like that shouldn't be fight for, because if you watch his videos, you will ask yourself, is it really an Igbo man? We want the people who are against Igbo to be where they are today, and that is where that guy deserves to be, where he is today. Because as an Igbo man, I wouldn't love to see an Igbo man come out in social media and want another Igbo man to be killed. Likewise, any other ethnic groups in this planet Earth. I will not advocate for another ethnic groups to be killed. Okay. That is number one. Number two, I would have loved, I thought that this program today would have been a question to Elayo Ejimako, because Elayo Ejimako said that he wrote an article about Ndibo, and that is why Nnamdi Kanu saw it and called his attention. That is a false and a lie. This particular man today contributes 75% of what is happening in our land. What I'm saying is the truth. He is not telling Mazi Kanu the truth, the actual thing that is happening to our people, and is indirectly working with his neighbor. That is why our people is being killed today. Because of his selfishness, because of his greediness. Elayo Ejimako, I'm saying it because the evidence is there, and he's being paid by neighbor. We know why he doesn't want to answer the real question that we want to throw to him, and he's in a hurry to go out. We should have allowed us to ask him a question. Then you will you will understand who that man is. But we leave it when Mazi Kanu is being free. Everything will be made public. Then people will now realize who Ejimako is. Dr. Chid, I won't go more than this, but I want to thank you. And sorry, I thank you once more again. But I wouldn't like you to be carried away by some people will call you names. Like as I said to you, I'm one of the people that respect you so much, and I wouldn't like you to lose focus. And some people they will change their name to Igbo name to come and insult you. We have evidence of what we are saying. Continue with your good job. Don't allow people to, nail you down. Thank you very much, and my regard to your family. Thank you.
All right, thank you, C2. Okay, before you respond, or you want to just answer why you keep going to release people. Because, whether or not, why do you just go and release people? Why do you just jump into a case without even thinking? This particular individual is talking about, very well that I don't even like that individual. But when I called you and I said, why are you going for this individual? I know what you told me, but maybe you should answer it in public. Why do you keep going after these people that ordinarily people will be asking, what's your business with them? Why do you do that?
Dr. Chidi, today is Sunday. Sure, stands for no discrimination. I stand for the Jews the same way I stand for the Gentiles, as far as justice is concerned. You see, one of the things we must learn is people talk about Mandela a lot today, but Mandela to America was a terrorist. In fact, it wasn't until he was released and became the president of the US that his visa was restated. Otherwise, Mandela was banned from the US without people knowing for a long time. And one thing I learned from Nnamdi Kanu is that even if Nnamdi Kanu were to be alive, I'm sorry, if he were to be out today, he will fight for Ijele because he's the leader of all, and you know this, right? And I don't have any reason to allow anybody to be oppressed. That's why the courts are there. The courts are to determine the guilt or otherwise of people that are before it. But one of the things that the courts say before is that anybody that is before a law court is presumed innocent until proven guilty. So what our friend is doing is the same thing that he doesn't want to be done to another person, to pronounce somebody guilty until their innocence is proven. And I don't do that. Everybody understands that. You are talking about the jailing. I just told you what I go through just for supporting Nnamdi Kanu. There are people who also feel that Nnamdi Kanu is guilty already. They still do it today. They still insult me. They still accuse me of supporting a terrorist. Somebody, you need to go to Twitter to see what people say about my position on Nnamdi Kanu. So, as you know, I have stated it at the beginning of my answer to the question. I'm for Jews and Gentiles as far as justice is concerned.
All right. Thank you very much. And then Mama HQ, you want to address Samuel Shore. Please keep it very, very short. We have a lot to discuss. And he has somewhere to go. I've overshot his time. Go ahead.
I am not HQ. I am HO.
HO. Okay. I used to think that you're the mama of the headquarters. So that's why I always put HQ.
Anyway, everybody, they give me their own definition of who they think I be. Some say I be general. And some say, anyone you call me, I take my title free of charge.
Okay.
Because sure you know that the verse for you.
You sure when you call your pikin, so how old do you think?
As you know, pikin, I the verse for her.
How old do you think Shore is? You keep calling him your pikin.
The office of a mother now they stay.
Okay.
So as the office of a mother be, and they represent all mothers.
Okay.
And unfortunately, to the Nigerian government, I tell and say, my children sis, they start from age 60 downward to the one I line up. You know why? Because some people they age 60 now, when they not enjoy what they call youth.
Remember, we have to let Shore go, so let's address him.
Okay, sure, we need to talk. Just as you know, we get battle to fight. We get Nigeria to be released. One road not enter market. So we don't know the road one will take win the battle. But definitely we go winner.
Okay.
And Ogashidi, send this message to my senior pikin as I get pikin now. Nnamdi Kanu.
Okay.
Then let me tell and say, he get the pot of soup when I dey cook.
Okay.
Since Akpabio said they won't chop, when we finish that cooking of the soup, he go come out. Because we go give them food to chop, while all of them go come out. No bole him, all my children sis, when he did there, as long as they can forgive Boko Haram, every other children sis in that jail, in the 36th state, they go get presidential pardon. So congratulations, we are winning the battle, whether they like it or not.
Thank you very much, Mama H.O. And then finally, Nwaje Edozie, go ahead.
Dr. Chidi, thank you so much. I am just an observer. I must say I want to thank Sawo for keeping up the struggle. You see, to liberate Nigeria from the shackles of our colonial mentality, which is still holding us together. It's a great fight, which it will take a great revolution to actually upturn whatever we have in the system now. It's good. Some people like him are taking it upon themselves to actually come to the fore. But I think if they form a united force with all the forces that are actually agitating for self-determination, how to either restructure the country, because Nigeria could be better if we have the right leadership in place. If the people will sit down and actually get a constitution, people constitution to right the wrongs, we can coexist, like he said, become a continent of Africa, bring everybody together. So I want to thank him. We will join in the struggle when the time comes. Thank you so much, Sawo, and keep up the fight.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Mr. President, please, one last talk to all your supporters and everybody, starting from Mama H.O.
Well, Dr. Chide, let me thank you for making this happen all the time. I appreciate everybody. I these days I resist the urge to say the last word because we haven't fought the last battle yet, so we can't say the last word. But we must continue to give appreciation to all our people, to yourself, your family, and all our people here, Mama Echo, and everybody that is listening and watching this and would continue to watch. The interesting thing about what we do here is that we're we're part of history. We are creating history, and they don't stop. They don't stop here. The world has changed so much that there are things we are saying here that would keep reverberating for months, years, even centuries to come, because they will all be kept, uh, for the sake of posterity. And I think it's important. The only person I want to address quickly is Nwanje Dozie, who said that when the time comes, he will join this. He will join the struggle. We have no time. We have no time. We don't know what tomorrow will bring. So you should join today. Because the earlier we win this battle, and the better for the end of the war. The saddest thing about the Nigerian situation is that we didn't call for the war. It is just a tiny, minuscule percentage of the population that is waging the war against the rest of us. But the biggest problem is that we haven't responded with equal ferocity and strength that we have. That is the only thing that is lacking. The day we all decide that all the oppressed people become one tribe against the oppressors, they will run away. I promise you, because I know them very well. I am very close to these cowards. Not that I talk to them, but I understand their psyche, and I know that there's just too few to confront and fight and win against us. So I can't wait. Can't wait for that period that we all come together and they'll just win this battle.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful. Thank you.
Appreciate all of you. Thank you so much. And I hope to see you guys soon. Anywhere, either on Dr. Chidi's show, in person, or in those interesting places where we meet.
Thank you so much. Thank you so. Oh, were you gonna say something, Nwajay?
No, I said bye.
Okay, yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Nwajay. Also, thank you, Mama H.O. for joining us. Thank you for your support always. Thank you very much. Agasho, Thank you again and again and again. What I think must happen right now for the benefit of all of us, I think we must find a way from your very busy schedule to keep you online. We just have to do it. Keep you on Twitter Space, keep you on TikTok. We want, because on TikTok, honestly, I see people, thousands of people, Nigerians, so they are just there, just talking about something that doesn't make sense, just, and thousands of people with their data. Imagine if we had you on TikTok and people are asking questions and talking and doing all these things that they do on TikTok. I think that is more beneficial to us. So I really want to please ask you, plead with you, and when we are able to get ourselves together, that you please find time to come and speak to us on TikTok. Let us do all the prophecy and all the things that they do there on TikTok. Let's do it there about the Nigerian situation, because people are so hollow now. People don't know what to believe in. The people who supported Tinubu, they are disappointed. The people who thought they were supporting an angel, they are disappointed. I don't want to talk much about that. The people who didn't listen to you before, now they are listening. Everything you predicted is happening. So please, when we call upon you, please answer us like you always do, and regards to your family. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, and have a nice Sunday.
All right, you too, sir. Bye-bye. Okay, guys, that was Omoyele Shore and also Barrister Aloy Jimako. We're going to be doing a lot of this, okay, as the days go by. You guys know I'm an unapologetic Igbo man, but I believe in the freedom of everybody who is Nigerian and who is African. So I wear so many hats. Tomorrow you see me wearing another hat as I fight on different platforms, on different arenas, like Mama H.O. said. But it's all for good. It's all for the good of humanity. I'd like to thank all the channels that join us. Channel for Emancipation of Free Nigeria. I'd like to thank you, Zara. Hi, Bori. Thank you so much. James Edebiri. Thank you, James. And my man, Favor. Thank you so much, Favor. I'm still expecting that number that I told you to get. Please get that number for me. Thank you, everybody that has been with us through all the years. Olatumbosun Ogumade. Thank you. Adebesin Ibrahim. Thank you so much. Dr. Erica, thank you for all the work you're doing in the background. Guys, go and watch the video between Mazi Kanu and Omoyele Shore, and you understand. You'll be able to see all the things he's talking about. Dr. Erica has posted the link. Please post the link again. Emelala Industry, I see you. I thank you so much for all your support. And everybody that I didn't call your name, please, I thank you. On behalf of Dr. Erica, and on behalf of all of us at the Worship Media Studios in Toronto, Canada, my name is Dr. Chidi, and I'll see you guys very soon. Thank you, and bye-bye.